Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we are going to be talking about Alchemy Pay, or aka ACH. So sit back, relax, and before we fully jump on into this video, I just want to ask guys to please leave a like on this video. It does help the channel grow immensely, and I do greatly appreciate it. Also, if you guys learned anything new from this video, if you guys, pretty much learned about a new coin or so, and you're interested about it, definitely hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on, as I do upload daily videos on crypto and crypto insights, so I do greatly appreciate that as well. Now, let's talk about ACH, because although the market is kind of sitting stable a little bit, kind of trading sideways, I do believe that this one will give a little bit of a better buying opportunity. I know that we just recently seen it come down under about 6 cents. We're going to be talking about where to accumulate Alchemy Pay. The levels that we need to watch for are very significant. Also, I just want to say a lot of individuals are fudding on this circulating supply, how they are releasing more tokens. That is totally normal. In fact, a lot of their, releases always kind of sparked up one of these, aka a listing. We just recently seen a new listing for Alchemy Pay on CoinX Global. This happened 2 days ago. We also seen the same thing happen 2 days ago as well, where we did see a token release of 100 million tokens. A lot of the tokens, if you look into the tokenomics, or pretty much the breakdown of some of their token funds, because there's not a huge, pretty much in-depth thing on the tokenomics. There's really not a lot of transparency on that, which I know could be a red flag for a lot of individuals. Of course, do your own research. But we do see tokens being released every single time that there is a new listing. This is actually a fairly large listing, by the way. This is a 90.9K followed exchange, and they're pretty fairly high up on the food chain for the top tier exchanges. We could pretty much find them here if you guys want to. There's CoinX, number 54. I know it's not the best, but it is another exchange with more volume, and we already know that it is listed on Coinbase, and it's only a matter of time before Binance. We're going to be talking about that as well. Now, I do just really quickly want to address the elephant in the room, and that is the holders tab. We know that we have seen a ton of accumulation happening for ACH in terms of, addresses accumulating. This has been pretty much the same thing ever since the summertime when we first bought into Alchemy Pay. I want to just say real quick, in full transparency, no, I'm not paid to talk about Alchemy Pay. I'm not paid by the team or anything like that, because I know that is a huge question that a lot of individuals get asked on YouTube. I do not get paid to talk about any assets. I talk about all of these at free will. I do my research. I understand how big this, stuff could be. So with that in mind, no, I'm not being paid at all. But I do just want to say a lot of individuals are pretty much accumulating Alchemy Pay, but it is a no-brainer why they would be. This sitting at about a $245 almost $1 million market cap is fairly, undervalued. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about the price chart. So in terms of accumulation, I do believe that we will see a little bit better of a buy-in opportunity for Alchemy Pay, but I think that we are in a solid accumulation zone. In fact, I believe that this is a very strong zone to hold. If we do break down below the 702, aka 5.5 cents, around that range that we bounced off of back in December 20th to be exact, if we do break down below that, we will test about 4 cents, 4 to like 5 cents around that point down here. We pretty much will wick down as far as like 4.5 cents. So pay attention to that point. But I think that this is a solid accumulation zone. So pretty much the point between, 5.5 cents and almost 6.5 cents. So pretty much 1 cent difference in there. But I think that this is a solid point. We have been trading sideways. We have not broken the structure since, like I said, back in October. But if we do see Bitcoin have that nice rejection while Bitcoin dominance is pretty much continuing to rise and rise and rise, yes, we will see Alchemy Pay at some, cheap discounted prices. But I think that this is a solid accumulation zone that we are in. And if we're talking about the all-time highs up here, yes, we had a strong wick to almost 24 cents on Coinbase. I remember it specifically happening. I was actually in it at that time. We could actually see how far away we are from that all-time high, which is roughly about a 276% price gain. Now, I'm not going to say that we are extremely early into Alchemy Pay. Absolutely not. Because if we look at the USDT chart, we could actually see back in time during the summertime before it got listed on Coinbase, it was trading at, a fraction of a cent. And then all of a sudden, boom, Coinbase listing, and we flew. And if we talk about how far from the bottom prices we are to our current price, yes, we are up a little bit by about 4,000%. And when I say a little bit, I mean quite a bit. But I still think that we are fairly early because of the market cap value for what this major use case actually is. And let's actually just dive into that and talk about the major use cases behind this and why I do believe that there's still a lot more growth left in Alchemy Pay. So first off, we do see here lots in store for 2022. Thank you for your continuous support. Let's continue to build the bridge between crypto and fiat worlds. And of course, we have this nice bridging fiat and crypto economy sort of, in-depth sort of view on Alchemy Pay and really where we are leading the path on pioneering the world's first hybrid payment system. I think that when we're talking about more use cases, I do want to see a lot more updates from Alchemy Pay in general from, partnerships, use cases, and pretty much just in general a lot more development going on. We haven't seen a lot more updates from them besides, a few little things here and there. I do want to see a lot more of that. We also see here inspiring talks with ambassadors of Sudan. This week, Alchemy Pay is working to provide corporations in Sudan and the MENA region with new ways to access global finance. And I think that this is pretty interesting to say the least. If you guys don't know what Alchemy Pay essentially is doing, they are bridging, traditional fiat, pretty much economies to crypto. I think that this is pretty interesting to say the least when we're talking about them pretty much building out partnerships overseas in a lot of these other major regions. I think that this can continue to happen, and if we do see that growing and growing and growing, I do think that we will spark more and more partnerships. And I think that that's what a lot of individuals are waiting to see. I personally am also waiting to see that. But we also see here, meet Robert McCracken from Alchemy Pay. The evolution to Web3 shifts power back to individual users and creators and will bring an explosion of new creativity. We are working to make it accessible as possible. Now, I do believe that when we're talking about Web3 adoption, when we're talking about Web3 in general, I think that a lot of these major use cases I talk about on a day-to-day basis, we talk about Alchemy Pay, we talk about other Web3-based tokens as well, like Casper, for an example. I think a lot of these have a lot of growth left in them. When we're talking about a lot of these major markets, first off, we know that Alchemy Pay is in DeFi as well. For an example, in terms of DeFi in general, we know that this has been growing and growing and growing in market cap, and it has been doing some major increases in value. In fact, we know a lot of these altcoins in general, if we're talking about year-to-date percentages in 2021, have done significant rides up. We also know that, and I'm just going to go to Casper for this to really kind of find Web3, but we also know that Web3 in general is also a fairly large market. I think that a lot of these can continue to really, be adopted at mass scale once Web3 really kind of explodes, because Web3 is still fairly new. But I think that we're going to need a lot of bridges being built within the Web3 economy to really kind of build out that adoption at mass. So I'm excited to see where this actually really kind of leads us to. I think that a lot of these payment gateways are very large use cases, and Alchemy Pay definitely is one of them. Now, I do also want to talk to you guys about Binance with Alchemy Pay. So we have been seeing a lot of talks with Binance in general. We've seen, Binance be a major partner of, Alchemy Pay. But in general, this was talking more so about that percentage gain on January 5th before we seen, of course, the 100 million tokens being put into, play. They got released. But that was, of course, when we're talking about this, is pretty much, to warm up a listing, which we know a lot of these projects do fund listings through, of course, release of tokens. Of course, we don't know exactly what it was. I'm just making a little bit of a speculation on it. But we have been seeing a lot of, coins being, released once we do see a listing. But we do see here Alchemy Pay price on Binance. This coin is not listed on Binance for trade and service. We also seen a lot of articles that Binance have been, pretty much releasing within Alchemy Pay as well, or I should say mentioning Alchemy Pay as well. And I think that that is pretty much, major connections to a listing on Alchemy Pay. I think Alchemy Pay will be listed eventually on Binance as well as some other major exchanges. I think that currently, right now we are on some like bare minimum exchanges, and I shouldn't say bare minimum in general because we are on Coinbase. Like Coinbase is one of the leading names, but I think that a Binance listing will extremely help the volume aspect for Alchemy Pay, but we're not on almost all of the major exchanges. We're not on a ton either. We're on only 30 exchanges in general, so we still have quite a bit of names to really kind of mark off the list for us to get listed on. So I'm watching a lot of the news unfold. I'm looking forward to seeing Binance list Alchemy Pay, because I do expect that eventually at some point in time, as well as in terms of looking at the ecosystem, how big this asset really essentially is. And we do know settlement, we already have partnerships with like OKEX and stuff like that. But we do see Alchemy Pay's noteworthy partnerships have investors scratching their heads at the digital payments processors' snail's pace towards the limelight. Not a lot of people are really kind of looking at Alchemy Pay. Not a lot of people are paying attention to Alchemy Pay. And I do believe that that is a concern. I think that, right now, in terms of a concern on, from a buyer's or, pretty much, day trader's perspective, like, yeah, it's a little bit of, something to look at in, sort of a concerning way if you are a day trader, because obviously, this asset's not going to the moon just yet. But from a hodler standpoint, I think that this is fairly good, because one, it allows you to accumulate a lot more before this really kind of gets put into the spotlight, and then that's when retail and a lot of higher up individuals really kind of adopt this and really start talking about it. Because I'm just a smaller YouTuber, like I talk about Alchemy Pay, but I'm just one of many. So once we have a lot more individuals kind of jumping on to the bandwagon and talking about Alchemy Pay and really kind of showing a lot of individuals what this really is, I think that that's when we will see a lot more price appreciation for Alchemy Pay. But I'm not too concerned with the price appreciation or with individuals kind of overlooking this. In fact, I like to be invested into things before people start talking about them anyways. But again, we know, it is arguably past its, infancy. Choosing assets within crypto is still anything but sensible. So in a well-discussed and exploding new space with Twitter and news mentions lagging just behind daily politics and seemingly unending global health crisis, why is it that anonymous personalities on Twitter with cartoon animal profile pictures are still outperforming the hottest crypto investment/hedge funds by multiples of 5? Ultimately, it comes down to the panicking of winning investments, and Alchemy Pay is undoubtedly deserving of that title. This definitely is, in my opinion, a winning investment. I think that when we're talking about the partnerships alone, when we're talking about what they're focused on, first off, they're focused on huge markets. They're not only looking at the retail investor, but they also are talking about the institutional investor standpoint as well. This is a huge bridge, asset in general. But we do see here, in the purest form, Alchemy Pay technology allows both retail and institutional holders to make payments using various crypto assets, provided the respective currency has been integrated with the platform. We know that, the payment channel's white paper opens with target discussions on low efficiency in payment innovation. And I think that what they are really kind of focused on will provide them with a lot of price appreciation. We know that their early partners definitely are Shopify, Arcadia, Binance, and QFPay, with impressive technology integrations, layer 1 and layer 2 on-ramps for Tron, Near Protocol, and Polygon. Just in general, they have so many partnerships. They're really kind of focused on huge entire, listen, e-commerce in general. Like, Shopify is an e-commerce giant, okay? And now they're trying to roll out NFT shopping on Shopify and the Binance crypto spend system as well. These two developments have been kept under wraps with regard to progress and release dates, but I think that these two developments in general are huge factors to the success rate that Alchemy Pay will pretty much, unfold for those who are investing right now. I think that if we're talking about crypto really kind of exploding in 2022, when we're talking about crypto being, largely adopted in 2022 as well, I think that a lot of these major payment gateways like Alchemy Pay are going to be huge, success rates in terms of where they will lead to. Like, Alchemy Pay is a massive holding if you have it in your, portfolio right now, because look at all of the fiat channels that they have. Look at where they are positioned at. The trusted reviews alone should pretty much tell you where we are going. Like, we're not even on OKEX, and we're not even on Binance, yet guess what? They have a review from the CEO of Binance, a review of the CEO of OKEX as well. And of course, there's other reviews here as well that you could read more about. You could read all about their partnerships. I mean, like, this is seriously, and they're going after huge markets too, like C2B and B2B payments as well. Like, I'm just excited to see the growth of this asset because I know that this is a winner. You know, when I look at assets, I always try to look at transparency. Like, they are very transparent on most things except for tokenomics. Like, if you click tokenomics here, like, trust me, it's there. You can read about it, but you don't really see the percentages that are being held by a lot of these major, you know, portions. For example, like, I want to see how much the team is holding. I want to know how much this is holding, that is holding, etc. Like most projects. But in general, you know, we know the partnerships that they have. We know the leaders behind it. I just think that this is a clear winner. I would like to see more tokenomics in general, like more transparency on that. But I think that this has the possibilities to really kind of give a lot of individuals a ton of, you know, pretty much overall returns. I think that the ROI here is greatly, you know, incredible. So with that in mind, I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys want more free content, you guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. Please, and I stress, do your own research before you invest into anything that I talk about, because this is not financial advice. I'm just giving you guys my insights on these projects, what they are doing. I pretty much do insights on a lot of projects. So with that in mind, please do your own research and get your own viewpoints on things. But with that in mind, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out, guys.